would be the game.
The decider. That's how it works in those two sports. And we're in the U.S. after all, so might as well go to a Game 7 and honor the host country for this matchup. By the way, ice hockey is the same as well. 7 games decide it all in those major
Playoff series, right? Yeah.
So, World Series, only the Super Bowl is not like that. They couldn't play 7 football games. That would be sick. But here we see a Game 7 among these two absolute gladiators, gods of the sport, two of the best players on the planet, the best player on the planet, playing against one of his main rivals in chess. And here we go. What do we have here?
It's something quite original, I want to say. So that's third move, bishop e7, known as Hungarian defense, if I'm not mistaken. And it transposed into something relatively, I want to say relatively standard, but still not really, because the bishop on b2 is not standard.
Not exactly a complex structure, if you will.
Yeah.
This is something you could see back in the 1890s, early 1900s. They just play some setup and see what happens. But these kind of formations, you could bring them back and see what happens. But it's so easy to get nothing out of a position like this one, because Black's position is ultra solid, like just ultra. Now he's just traded off the dark squared bishops, nice little check. But does White have anything? The knight on g3 is my least favorite piece, I'm going to say, even though White has a spatial advantage. That's a knight.
Cheeky check on c3, because he was planning, I believe he was planning to block with the queen on f6, but now c7 pawn was hanging.
Okay, now, whoa. All right, now Nepo is saying, I don't know what you're talking about, but I like my knight and ability to play the move f5 with a knight ready to join. And now
e5.
E5
wow, because the knight on c5 prevents you from, like, hanging knight on c5 does not allow you to capture on e5. And the other rook's going to go into a center. If you move this knight, knight e4, that's kind of the worst knight becomes the best knight in the position.
Okay, queen to e7 and a capture.
Capture on d6.
And f5 will always be something to think about.
Right.
I'm not sure what it does, but
be careful.
Nepo has again just whipped out his moves, and he's just down 22 seconds to be precise on the clock. And Magnus, already you see him glancing over there. I'm not bringing it up because I'm just a commentator looking for a storyline. Magnus is concerned about his clock time. He knows he probably should be okay, as you see him moving very smoothly there.
Rook d8 is a clever move, so that he has the ability to trade the queens with the checks.
There it is.
Captured here. Okay, queen a5 is a pawn, you know. There might be, or should be, some compensation with queen centralization and queen f2, and so, but yeah, you can take on a5.
I'm not a fan of taking that pawn, I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm not as greedy as my good buddy Yasser Surwan. But
well, Yasser would, I mean,
Yasser
there wouldn't be a discussion.
Is it me?
There wouldn't be
I'm
discussion.
taking the pawn. But the fact that the queen does leave the center of the board and allow Black's queen to start dancing is problematic. And in this situation, I don't think Nepo, okay, he just channeled his best Yasser Surwan and took the pawn. I just thought he would just avoid taking this puppy, but he said, I'll take it, and you prove to me what your compensation is. And somewhere Yasser is smiling at this development. Now, what did Magnus have in mind?
Yeah, well, in fact, you do have a path to equality from what I can see from computer suggestion, which is b6, queen to b5, and then using the fact that there are some back rank ideas to go knight e4. Will Magnus spot it? That's a big question.
Okay. Well, we're saying it's equal, but Magnus's clock says there are problems here to resolve, and he did find the first move. And his knight's about to move, so I'm assuming he's going to find the second.
Well, knight to e4.
There
bravo,
it is.
Magnus.
I mean, bravo. When these guys have only one way to equality, they usually find it. And that there, look at Nepo like, ugh. You saw that too, huh?
Right. And yeah, you can't do much because Black does not threaten to trade. Black does threaten the smothered mate after check, check, queen g1, right?
Don't
So you
miss
have to capture on e4, queen
that
e4,
one.
rook attacked, pawn attacked. Rook c1 does not defend the c2 pawn, so black wins the pawn back.
So knight takes just about force. Nepo looking for an alternative. He's not going to find it.
Yeah, his advantage on the clock is melting away, by the way.
Yes, and he's just trying to see where is what. Is this a trick? Is this any problems here? What should I play? Magnus's king is still a little bit
Yeah, a little bit
porous.
weaker, right? Queen to
Queen
f1, a
and
tricky move.
Magnus said, "My king, there's no problem. I don't believe you."
Yeah, my
I'm
king,
taking
my
it."
rules, right?
Yeah, like, Queen f6 looks like it could be something, but there is Rook d1 shutting that down.
And
Magnus
also,
is ready
yeah,
to
like
spot
the
it.
queen defends g6.
Yeah, exactly, because the Rook would have been hanging if Queen f6, and he's decided, let me just
h3.
open up, and now Queen takes b3 would be greedy and probably bad. after
Yeah, I
Queen
imagine
down.
like queen b3, queen f6, that's exactly what you don't want to be doing.
No, that's not going to happen. He's played Rook to f8, Queen b5. Guess what? Game 7 is starting to look like Game 8.
Yeah.
This is very close again, and Magnus playing Queen to c3, Queen d5 with check.
You can still blunder though, right?
You could still blunder, yes.
You could
There's
still
no question
blunder.
about that.
Well,
And now
I
Queen
mean,
e6.
You mean Magnus, right? Because Nepo's king is much safer now that you've mentioned.
Agreed.
Queen e6.
King g7, and he's ready to play Rook f7 if
Oh,
you try
right.
any kind
Solidifying
of funny
everything.
business, and that's going to solidify the entire position. Is Rook? I would have thought after Rook d1, you just put the Rook on f7 immediately, and he's done it. And neither side has anything here. Magnus, though, down on the clock still, 20 seconds, and he's played.
Maybe he was debating queen f6. Like, do you want to go queen f6 and just trade the queens, or you want to keep, this
And
thought
Rook
of
to d5, and now again, Queen f6 equalizes on the spot, it looks like. I mean, really, Queen f6 is just
it
a draw.
does, yeah, it does.
You just play that and you don't worry about anything. Magnus, though, still a little bit worried about his clock. He's played h.
All right, so he played.
Is he trying to win the
h4.
game?
H4. Well, he's imitating. Queen f6.
I like the way you said. Why did he trade and allow this move g5?
King takes, rook g4, g5. Well, there's still like nothing. There's still nothing.
There's probably less than that
Nah.
over here. But c5, trying to get a passed pawn on
Game
c5.
8. Game 8.
You got game 8, huh?
Game
26
8. Here we go.
seconds left. And 9 seconds for Magnus. 7, 6. Now playing rook to d7. I guarantee you Magnus is still thinking about trying to win this game. But takes, king up. And
Where
a
the
check.
rook's going, I do not quite get it.
There's just no way to. The rook on g4 is just too strong.
Rook on g4, in fact, defends. Well, c4. c4
That's
is a cheeky little
Funny
move.
move. You have to take it because he's going to take on a4. So he realizes, all right, I got to take
King
that.
takes, king to d5, where black cannot
And
trade.
they've agreed.
And they've agreed a draw.
On yet another draw. The game continues. What is Magnus looking in the sky? They're trying to talk something
They're
through.
discussing something. I think they just analyze the game. Speaking of, like,
Yeah. Nothing there. Maybe you could have played this. What's going on? What's going on is you got 3 minutes to start the next
guys,
game.
yeah.
And
Stop analyzing. I mean, you have game 8 to play.
I wonder if he thinks that sooner or later there's going to be an Armageddon, but it ain't going to happen. Something in Magnus's mind. What are they discussing? Or maybe
The possibility to split the first prize,
no. We didn't.
like they do at poker tournaments sometimes.
The
like,
fans didn't play big money to do that happen. Not at all. And they're still discussing the position.
No, but he addressed something. The chief asked something from the chief arbiter. So I do not really know. Anyway, we are getting ready, folks, for the game 8
They're talking moves right now. They're literally talking moves from the last game. You'd think you'd want to go clear your mind and get ready for the next game, and they're talking moves. That just shows you how chess players do work together the way that astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson said they're friends. They've been teammates, and you see a smile there from Nepo. Even though he was devastated by the loss against Magnus in their World Championship match, they're still colleagues. They've been teammates as well, playing in the World Team Championship together. And